work. I couldn't access the material, but you will be able to download it. So let's first review what it says, and then we will begin to work. Okay, this is a company that created an app, a fire app. They are Tim Bad, Roberta Ugly, and Shani Sloppy. And they created the Bad, Ugly, and Sloppy App Corporation. Here's their picture. They are discussing the safety checklist. The checklist is here. They can't find the checklist. So they were told that fire is fast and easy, and they could get a lot of money, so they worked 3 weeks. Hard work, 3 weeks. And they created this app in October. It's a very simple app in JavaScript. It's in production all over the world. It will allow young physicians to connect to any EHR, review demographic information, and review observations, conditions, and allergies. And these are good news. The bad news is that they didn't review the safety checklist. So your task is to assess the project using the template. You have to assess the front end and the source code to assess its safety. So you need a web browser. You need access to the fire spec. You need the template I created for you, which is here, the Excel file. And you can run the project here. And you can review the source code too. So this is the app. And if you put here a name, patient name, try Smith, which works. It will search all the Smiths in the database. And if you click on details, you will see, it's bad and ugly, so it's ugly, but you see all the labs for the patient, and you will see after the labs, you will see the conditions and the allergies. So this is what they promised. And I think you can see the editor view. Make sure you can. If you don't, you can download the code. There is a manifest explaining what the app does. And there is the source code for the app, so you can review it. So your job will be to use the template and fill it. And I will explain to you how to fill it. So this has a column saying that you have or not have reviewed it, the date, who did it, and your comments on this. And you can say, in this instance, we don't care about this yet, NA. We are not discussing this because this app is too simple right now. But you can see all the points in the safety checklist and actually check it. So what I will recommend is you forming groups of 3 people, 2 or 3 people, and discussing each one of the issues. You can refer to the slides in my presentation, so you can see what it is about, if you don't remember. And you can even read the safety checklist, if you want. But if you don't want to read it, just read my slides and this. If you are very brave, you can read the actual safety checklist. So let's take a minute to get you together and discussing. Yes.
Can you show us the links?
Yes. So what I want you to do is to discuss it together, and then we will go to each point together, and maybe you can present or I can present, depending on what you want to do. You can also download the application to your computer and make it run from there. It's very safe. Okay, use the template and discuss. Don't do it alone. It's better if you discuss it with someone.
I'm not staying, unfortunately, so I won't join the group.
If you are trying the app, try Smith as the last name, because we have Smith in the server. A lot of Smith persons. We have all Saintia persons in the server, but Smith should work. If it doesn't work, it means that your computer is not allowing. It doesn't work for you? You have to, no, you can just put last name Smith. Maybe it's slow.
Yeah, it's
Smith.
take a moment.
Maybe one of you have to have the template and the other one has to have the app. And you can fill the template, one fill the template and the other has the source code of the app. You were in my class?
No.
We are actually non-developers, so
It doesn't matter.
we are rather here to listen.
It doesn't matter. You need to, you're assessing it as person, not as developers. You need to see how it does, what it does, and if you see that it doesn't do what it should.
We were not part in the first class.
So we are trying to assess if a project is compliant with the safety checklist. If someone has checked all the things. So I provided an Excel template, and we can go through all the issues.
So we don't have to control the code.
Yes,
You have to control the code.
we will have. But
Okay.
you can just use it and see if it complies what it's supposed to. As a user. You can do the check as a user too. You don't need to be a developer to do this. You just use the application and say, okay, this doesn't do what it's supposed to do. If anyone has questions, please ask me. I'm around here. Why are you alone? Why don't we were in my class before? Oh, maybe pair with someone who was in the class. It's in the same here. It's
It looked like the two links you had are the same.
if you open it,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
it has a
This one?
yeah, it has a source
Okay.
code.
Okay. I just wasn't sure where it was.
No, it's
So-
there.
View
No, maybe it's over here.
over here. I don't see anything to the left.
Yeah, so,
It's CodePen, so you have to change view
yeah, well, I wondered about that, but change it
to editor.
editor view, okay. That makes sense.
Now you have everything.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense.
You have to change view to editor.
So,
How much time? You may, in 2 or 3 minutes, we will begin discussing. But we are discussing. We will not be graded. Just do whatever you can in 10 more minutes. And I will review now the code to show you what it does, so you can understand if you are not a programmer or you don't know JavaScript. I don't know JavaScript. I created the code, but I don't know it. I just copied from somewhere else. So here you have which server is this application using in this JScript file. It's connecting to that server. So you can change it to any of the reference server and search for patients in any server that is online. Okay? Then the index it uses materialize to show this here is the template for showing the patient, and then to go to the details of the patient. And as you can see, these are the elements of the resource is showing. So it's showing family given, birth date, and gender for each name of the patient. So this is how it shows the resources it gets from the file servers. This is called Mustache. It's a framework to separate content from structure, from format. So this is the main screen, the form. You can search, and when you search, it will go to this function, a specific patient search, and it will search the patient in the file server. So this is how it get all the observations, get all the allergies, and get all the conditions. As you can see, it uses a library called Smart. This is a library that Smart provides to connect to servers and then to retrieve information about the patients. So it goes to the Smart app, to any server, and it extracts all the information about the patient and shows it. So it connects to the server, It creates a patient object, it reads the patient objects, and if it succeeds, then display the patient, display the observations, the conditions, and the allergies, using the templates that are defined in the other file, in summary file. And the summary file has the must-touch templates for each resource it's showing. So for allergies, for conditions, it's showing code and onset. For observations, it's showing code, unit, date, and value. And for allergies, it's showing substance, criticality, severity, and reaction. So this is all the app. So let's begin the discussion. Anyone has any idea? Anyone has discussed anything yet? Can you tell us?
Well, the first item on the checklist is the consent, and there's no evidence that.
There is no evidence of consent. So in some place, I would like to ask these two ladies and the guy, where are they recording the consent? Usually the server will record the consent, not the app, but I don't know. Maybe they can explain us. Who is recording the consent for that?
Yeah, but there's also no possibility to check it or to change it.
That's two parts. The patient will need to check the consent and to state that he doesn't want to be here anymore, and we don't see it. That's the attitude we want.
Yeah.
We want to see you prove that it's safe.
Yes.
We will not assume anything. It depends in the context, but you are distributing apps that can work with any EHR. So you are beyond the context. So prove me that you are beyond the context.
It depends on how you see the consent here, but the fact that this app can actually reach this EMR in itself is already something. I mean, you can point to it, but that it actually gets access to data.
If it really gets access.
Before that point is reached, even there already either business agreement.
In real life, what I want to see, if it's patient-facing, is that when you going to access your record, it will ask you at some point. Okay, you are okay with this? You are okay with this? This is the kind of consent we will expect in mobile apps and that stuff. That's what Smart does. In bigger projects, we usually have a record of consent as a part of the project. We record the consent of the patient at some point in the workflow. Okay, that's very good. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, there's no evidence of any audit log.
There is no evidence of audit log. Anyway, this is always in the server side.
Yeah.
Okay, but you may do it in client side too.
Yeah. Just the what's the saying? The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, or something like that. So we can be sure. It uses secure communication, but only if the URL is using HTTPS.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But you could also get the app and put it in your computer, and that will not use secure. So that's a hole too. You could get the application and put it in your computer and will not use HTTPS.
Yeah, and there's no authentication or authorization.
There is no authentication or authorization here.
There seems to be no validation.
You can also see, maybe it also, I've seen application with basic authentication, and that's wrong too. So you need to ask for token-based or authorization in your apps. Make sure that they are using that and not anything else. And this library can do that, can do out of the box. So if the server supports it, you will be able to use it. Anything else?
I think in this case the fault is not even with the app, it's with the server that it's actually allowing access to data without.
Yeah, because these servers are reference servers, and I'm playing with them because they allow you to do that. And some of the servers have two phases, the secure phase and the unsecure phase. For instance, Graham server you can use the secure server too. Yeah. And you will not You will not be able to enter if you don't. Some of, I think most of the vendors have these two sandbox, but I wanted you to see how free it can be. You can do with no authentication and access. The other thing I see here, this is also a hole, a security hole, to have your servers identified openly. You should not have this in the open as the passwords. I had some applications with in real life, and you cannot get this open. No one should be able to know where are you connecting by inspection of your source code. This is difficult, but so let's see other stuff in the template. So we couldn't see the time for the server. It doesn't matter. We discussed communication. We discussed authentication. There's a hole in this app about access control. Anyone can see the whole list of patients. Okay? This is something. I was a little extreme in this one. But you need to assess that in your project. Who can see which patients? Because in some countries, if you are not treating the patient, you cannot see the patient data, depending on which context. For inpatients, any physician in the service can see. But for outpatients, you can see only patients you are treating. But it depends on the context. But you have to assess it in your context. Let's discuss life cycle and currency. This is important. So, if you remember my slides, you need to be sure that all the elements that are must support or resource modifiers are taken into account by the app. So let's see, for instance, condition and see which elements they are displaying and which elements are required or must support. Let's see the standard, maybe. Remember that this app shows condition. Go to hs7.org/fire condition. And this is the structure of condition. And when you see this resource here, this will tell you that this is a modifier element. So this is very important. You cannot ignore it. This is very important. You cannot ignore it. So review the code and see if something is ignored.
Must support's going to be in a profile.
I will show the must support too now. This is only for the base resource for the condition. But if you remember the Word file, it says that this app connects to any EHR supporting Fire API implementing the